Welcome back, oh ye VOD watchers. I appreciate you taking the time to make it through our Cyberpunk 2077 run. Welcome to part 7. I hope you've enjoyed parts 1 through 6 up until this point. It's wonderful to have you aboard. Thank you for supporting my stream. As always, please consider subscribing if you haven't, turning on notifications. I'm live at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, Tuesday through Sunday. Would love it if you stopped by and hung out with us sometime. And I also really love it if you leave comments. Make sure that you like the stream. Leave a comment if there's anything that happens in this playthrough that you like and want me to read and respond to. The only thing I ask is that you please not put any spoilers in the comments. Those of you that become members or send me a tip or support the stream financially while you're watching my VODs, I just would like to let you know that I really appreciate that. You can become a member and get some cool emotes by hitting the join button down below. And all my social links and tip link are down in the description. I hope you enjoy part 7. We're already starting off with an absolute banger, and I'm into it. Just want to sit in my car and listen to this. Let's see what kind of... Let's go get this Delamain car, and then we'll go meet with Takamura. I want to knock some of these out. I want to help Delamain out, you know? Don't jump out into the street, knucklehead. Free meals. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Thank you, friend. Delamain, what's up, buddy? Talk to me.
I lost contact with the Delamain network vehicle nearby.
Will do.
This music is... Oh. Mr. Hands, what's up?
V, welcome to Pacifica.
Quick on the dial. Just got here.
That's the biz. Be in touch.
On high alert now. I lost contact with a vehicle somewhere in your area.
Thanks. Eyes peeled.
Oh, there's the vehicle, but we're gonna go scan this. We're gonna go scan this tarot card real quick.
Huh.
The Hermit. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, there's Delamain. Perfect. Came right to us. Oh my god, the e-brake doesn't work very well. What up, Delamain?
Well, you found me. Congratulations. Was it worth it?
What's up, Gladys?
On a scale
Yes.
from 1 to 6, I'd say I'm sitting at a strong 6.
I guess we both know what's going to happen next.
Delamain misses you. I'm here to shut you down.
Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper.
Really appreciate it if you didn't make this difficult.
I have a surprise waiting for you after this next test. Telling you would spoil the surprise, so I'll just give you a hint. I'm going to kill you, and all the cake is gone.
Is this really a Gladys Easter egg? Because, like, sounds very Gladys.
Truly didn't think you'd fall for that.
Okay, that's enough.
You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you. Deploying surprise in 5, 4. Let's see. Turning soft bodies into hardened killing machines.
That's how we do it!
Cave killing machines.
Oh my god.
Blackened hearts and tell me what you see. Actually, don't. I'll save you the trouble. It's too marshmallow.
This is absolutely a GLaDOS Easter egg.
We win or we die! I hate you so much.
No, you don't.
Let's safety those weapons, Napoleon.
It turns out most humans are surprisingly fragile. And surprisingly vocal about how fragile they are.
Going back to Delamain really so scary. You gotta drag this out.
I let you survive this long because I was curious about your behavior. Well, you've managed to destroy that part of me. A bitter, unlikable loner whose passing shall not be mourned.
You know, this psyche valve might have felt more credible if you hadn't just tried to flatline.
What's your point, anyway? Survival? You're still shuffling around a little. But believe me, you're dead.
How do you...
I'm talking to a car right now.
I'm going back.
Oh my god.
I've made contact with the missing vehicle.
Definitely the oddest of the bunch.
Yes, particularly impertinent, that one. A share of your fee is being processed.
Dude, these Delamain missions are so good. I was not anticipating that these were going to be this awesome. I freaking love them. Oh, man. That was a lovely surprise. Oh, man. Okay. So good. All right, let's get out of here. Let's see if this gun's any good now. All right, take that rifle ammo and let's go. Oh man, that was so good. I just wasn't expecting that getting these cars was going to have as much complexity to it as it does. Like that, it really... I know I've said this multiple times through the playthrough, but I really love that the side quests in this feel diverse and interesting. So often in games like this, you just like, it's all generic and it's like the same shit over and over again. And this game really seems to have put a lot of care into the side quests, and I appreciate that immensely. That was so cool. You know, something that, you know, this isn't like anything crazy in terms of analysis, but it's really interesting how we can anthropomorphize just about anything, and all of a sudden it engages a lot of our human sensibilities, like empathy and curiosity and like emotion and stuff. Like we're literally talking to a car. We're talking to a machine, but because it uses like human language, has some like voice modulation, and it has some personality to it, we start looking at the car and talking to it as if it's somehow like some sentient being. And like, it just speaks to how little is really necessary for humans to connect to something and be intrigued by it and engage with it in a way that like it starts to become a template for like projection and stuff. Like V is sitting there talking to GLaDOS Delamain and is basically saying like, I'm being profiled right now psychologically, and gets all defensive. It's amazing. I find it fascinating how like we do that with so many things. All it takes is just a little bit of like facial expression, voice inflection, a motive, and language, and boom, all of a sudden something starts to carry more to us than just being an object. And it's an inverse of one of the things that we talked about in the last episode, where, you know, we can dehumanize things so that they become easier for us to engage with this object so that it doesn't engage our empathy. And we can also humanize things and it makes us engage even more with it. And if you use that it can actually be something that's wielded for the detriment to people. And it's just something to be mindful of. What gets humanized? What gets dehumanized? Where do we see context? Where do we see nuance? Where do we see emotion? And where do we see very simple stories? If you look in those directions and analyze things with that, you start to get an idea of what the people in power who are able to send messages are trying to convey. Where's your capacity for empathy appealed to, and where's your capacity for objectification appealed to? You get a lot of information that way. Who knew talking to a car could give us such rich conversation fodder? It may, Sloppy. Hard to know. All right, we're going to pop into the shooting range. We're going to win this contest. We're going to park our car in the middle of the pedestrian walkway. Love that car, by the way.
Fury! Carnage! Rude! Follow your instincts!
Yeah! Okay, so what do you need? Clothes? Lots of clothes. Oh, yeah.
Don't make trouble. Be trouble. Where there's smoke, there's fires.
Oh, look at that. Look at that family and their guns. Nice. Yikes. Hey, I've had that gun. Budget arms. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of that. All right, here we are. Gun range.
Hey, V. About to start. You, gotta take a piss or something? Now's the time.
A little presumptive.
Thanks for your concern. Let's start this rodeo.
Can't just yet. Not till you get in the range. Go on, set up. Chop, chop.
All right, I'm going. Yo, what up? I'm gonna just take this ammo if you don't mind. Don't mind me. Just stealing all your ammo. Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you, folks. All right, we're good.
Alrighty, how many we got? Just 6? God damn. Well, no point crying about it. Rules are simple, right? There's the target, shoot it. Don't matter which one, go on and shoot your neighbors. Most hits wins. Meaning hits on the target, not your neighbor. Oh, right. Small caliber iron only. Don't go showing off with your fucking assault bangers or no rocket pukers. Got me?
Got you.
First prize is a pistol. But, a real nice one. It's fucking nice, I'm telling you. Anyway, enough words. Worked up. Ready?
Draw your weapon. All right, we got this.
3, 2. Hey, the hell's that? The hell you doing with that double barrel? It says small caliber only.
Forgot my iron. Must be in my other jacket.
And that's where you keep your gun in a holster. A holster! Get the fuck out of my sight now!
Yeah, yeah.
Chill. I'm going.
Follow the rules. Hey, that's really good boundaries, chat. You know, this may look like a stupid little example, but I'm going to use it to talk about the importance of boundaries. Good on Wilson here. You know how often people show up to shit like this and they expect that people are just going to let it go? Do you know how often people do let it go? You don't set a good precedent if you're like, okay, I'll let it go this time. Wilson had very clear rules. This guy doesn't follow them. Wilson says, get the hell out of here. If you're not going to play by the rules, you got to go. And I appreciate that. That's how you send a message. That sends a message to everybody in this gun range that Wilson is a man of principle and a man who will follow through on the boundaries that he sets. Boundaries are not boundaries until you follow through on the consequences. And this here is a beautiful example of following through on the consequences. This guy didn't bring the right gun. Wilson clearly explained what's expected. This guy goes, I didn't know. I left it at home. If Wilson lets that go, he passively reinforces that his boundaries don't matter, that the rules of this contest don't matter. And that's not cool. Not for this guy that's walking out of the range, not for Wilson, and not for the other people that are participating. Boundaries aren't just for the people that are involved in the specific instance of boundary setting. Boundaries are also for the other people who are around bearing witness. Don't ever forget that. Boundaries aren't boundaries unless you follow through with the consequences. So good on Wilson here for doing that. Sif, thank you very much for the membership. I appreciate you, friend.
Pearls before swine, for fuck's sake.
Hear, hear, brother.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, this gun sucks.
Target. Hit the target, not the wall.
Yeah, I get it.
Looking good, Rudy. Go, go, go. Halfway there, V. Hit a crit for fuck's sake. What the hell was that, Lisa? Forget your glasses? 15 seconds. Last chance, V. Nothing like the smell of powder and hot lead. Stop! Everyone stop! We're done. First place, Rudy.
Damn.
Second, V. The rest of you Bush League punks, learn to shoot! Get out of my sight!
Hey, you okay? Something wrong?
Ain't a damn thing that's right.
Could be that I'm literally pointing a loaded weapon at him. That could be it.
Contest didn't do shit. Didn't sell a goddamn thing. Nothing.
Should try not calling potential buyers Bush League.
Yeah, maybe, but... Fuck! A gun's something you gotta respect. You don't know how to shoot, don't do it! Ugh. Take care, V. See you around.
But he's clearly hurting for cash. That gun sucked. I should have used the other gun. Oh well. You can't win them all. I didn't practice. Keep busy while you wait for the car to be repaired. That doesn't do anything. Very high, very high, very high. Okay, so maybe we won't do those. Main jobs. Okay, so down the street, automatic gloves. So you've decided to find the chick who put on this first class shit show. She had a job, you took it because there was no one else to knock some sense into your gonk head. I'm here now, but so what? This search and rescue bullshit's a dead end, but that's not about to stop you. Maybe Evelyn will, who knows? Seems like she doesn't want to be found. Go to the mega building H8. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Go find Evelyn and see what's up. Good thing this didn't turn into a friendly competition, right? I agree, Vapois. He doesn't want people who don't know how to shoot not to carry. I think we could all respect that.
Rage! Fury! Carnage! Rude!
Guy's a little intense for me. Wait, what are these? Rides. Alright, I can't wait a minute. I can't afford that. I don't have that kind of money. Buy a vehicle for $29K. I don't have that. Buy a vehicle for $13K. I do have that, but I don't want to buy that. We're not doing that. Reported crime, dangerous currents. Let's see if that's nearby. See if that's on our way to Evelyn. 750 meters, we can do that. Real water, only $99 a gallon? All right, let's watch the news real quick. Let's see what else is going on here.
Hello, Night City. I'm Jillian Jordan with N54 News, and this is your local latest. The NCPD has urged caution when using data terms. A routine inspection has shown many have been corrupted with malware. Police experts have confirmed the identified virus can lead to cyberware failure and, in extreme cases, even death. In response to increased gang activity, the mayor's office has raised the public threat level to red. Residents of Arroyo and Watson are advised not to leave their homes after dark and always ensure easy access to protective firearms. Schools and hospitals have been closed until further notice. What's next for Pacifica? The district, formerly designed as an oasis of luxury, has become a den for violent gangs and drug addicts. Kang Tao recently expressed interest in the purchase of Pacifica property with the aim of constructing a...
Oh, okay. We heard that on the radio. $750 meters. All right, let's just get in. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oops. On our way. The report when we got this police scan was basically that like there are people antagonizing homeless folks. So I'm inclined to intervene. They're basically asking for any help that they can get. So let's go ahead and hop out. Let's go see what help we can provide. And we're going to go in armed. That seems like the smart thing to do. Like how these people just don't flinch at a guy walking around with assault weapons either. This goes to show how ubiquitous weapons are. What the hell? Is it high tide right now? Are we really doing tides? Is that a thing? No way. That was interesting and unexpected. Oh. Yes. Absolute yes. Oh, baby. Come on. You kidding me? You kidding me right now? This guy... Oh, yes. All right, so that wasn't too bad. All right, let's go to Mega Building. Let's go get Evelyn, huh? Potentially, maybe. That is the look of the revolution, yes. Did you say your character's still based on wish identification? Maybe. Definitely more than similarity identification, that's for sure. Mega building H8. I look great, man. I could live in a time of this aesthetic. I like bright colors. I like things that are eccentric. I mean, you saw how what I was doing with the Omni Blade when we were in the chat portion of the stream. Give me bright colors and lights and I'm all in. All right, off we go. Oh God, oh God. Hello V, I have Migakai Momai for sale. Aside from sounding like a fruity cocktail, it is a little small, but your guns and groceries will fit right in. What more do you need? Not interested. Look what I'm driving right now. By the way, I would love to have a car with a steering wheel like this. Amazing. You okay? Ooh. All right, Mega Building H8.
Discount yesterday. Half price on everything.
And I sold twice more stock than usual.
So, you broke even?
Yes, but the goods were trash. I would have thrown them away.
That was fucking rhetorical. The stand's Tiger Claw's property, and you're Tiger Claw's property. You had one job. Sell the stock, take the eddies, and do nothing gunk. Is that so hard? Is that clear? Run your fucking discounts when you get your own fucking stand.
Which will be never.
Damn, tough guys. Everybody's tough when they have a firearm.
Fucking idiot this.
Boy, gonna be if we actually run into Evelyn, it's gonna be really interesting to see what she has to say. Oh shit!
The only thing waiting for you here is getting off or getting offed. Place your bets.
All right, Johnny.
If I miss this time, enlighten me.
Braindance chick is hiding something. No coincidence we already saw 2 Tiger Claws. They must control the building.
Arasaka and the Tiger Claws are in bed together. Go figure.
Every corp plays dirty, except the streets are more than that. They're filth. So the corps leave it to the gang, suits collars and gets swept. Surprised?
No, I mean, if Evelyn wanted to disappear, especially from Arasaka, she could have done better.
This whole situation's bent over, cheeks spread wide.
Interesting way to put that, Johnny, but I think I understand. These conversations with Johnny are fascinating to me for all the reasons we've discussed up until this point, but as always, it's important to consider what the motivations are behind what people are saying. Johnny tipped us off a little bit that he is invested now in us staying alive. And again, I don't know whether that's because he's actually invested in keeping me alive, or if that's because my own conscience is bleeding into his, and that's my desire to, like, stay alive being projected through Johnny. But regardless, it is interesting to me that Johnny all of a sudden seems interested in helping me. Hard to know if it's just because he's curious, but I would love to know a little bit more about his investment in helping me figure this out beyond just intrigue. Sif, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. Just a small token of my appreciation. I appreciate that very much, friend. The 35. I don't know what Zad is, but thank you for the 35 of Czar. Lemonade, thank you for the 4 months.
The miners were able to immediately return to
Judy's lying. Why?
Little something called intuition, V. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, it's not reliable.
What you meant to say was you're full of shit. Got it.
Base will be subdivided into 3 areas: industrial,
Intuition's not super reliable, chat. A lot of people use intuition to drive them, and it's generally not recommended. You should generally consider engaging deductive reasoning as opposed to intuition. Intuition is very inductive. It's rarely contextual. A lot of times it borrows from things that aren't actually relevant to the situation. Like, it's important to listen to your gut at times, especially if there's like some sort of emotional experience that's coming along with it. That has saved a lot of people from dangerous situations when they feel like something's wrong. But purely engaging with intuition is not necessarily going to be useful to you. You can use your emotional experience and intuition, but make sure you add context with deductive reasoning.
rate of 100 million euro dollars. At half the price, yes. Can you truly put a price on your security?
You take a blow-up dome, remodel the hole, and that's cheap. That's infidelity.
No. Well...
How's that any different from some dollhouse ass?
'Cause the ass is meat, not latex. That's so hard to understand.
Meat, right. No feeling going on, no thinking, no awareness. It's empty. Might as well be latex. Masturbation, sophisticated kind. That's all it is.
Whoa, fuck. Makes perfect sense, that.
Would love to know the context for that conversation. Intuition can come from learned experience, Eldrin, but again, it's not something that we want to rely on completely. Intuition plus deductive reasoning is going to be the better combination overall. South African currency. Oh, well, thank you very much, Sif. I appreciate it. I've never seen ZAR before, so I learned something new today. Thank you very much for 35 South Africa. Very cool. I wonder if this is hostile architecture. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this, but in a lot of cities, there is architecture, benches, things like that, that are intentionally designed to be hostile toward homeless folks. This is basically the equivalent of those spikes that you see in like train stations where they don't want pigeons to sit and shit on people. Same thing. You put these bolts and stuff into this bench, and it's basically hostile, so people can't lay on that. You can sit on it, but you can't lay on it. And it's basically to deter people from using the architecture for some level of comfort. And there are some really nasty examples of it. If you're ever interested in that, you can Google hostile architecture, and you'll see a lot of places that do shit like this. It's a really terrible means to try to solve what's perceived as a problem. You don't address homelessness by putting hostile architecture in. All you do is just shove the problem somewhere else, which in this case in Night City is the sewers. Hostile architecture is a band-aid. If you actually want to make sure that there aren't homeless people laying on benches, society needs to come together and work to make it so that everybody has access to resources and opportunity to be able to afford not to be in that position. That's a bigger job. It's a more complex job, certainly more complex than putting a few extra bolts on a bench. It's a very important thing to consider. You don't have a homeless issue if you create social safety nets for folks. That's how you solve a homeless problem, not by putting up hostile architecture to try to just funnel them over out of everybody's sight. Very inhuman. And again, it's another way that we contribute to dehumanizing certain folks. A common theme of this game is how certain messaging is used to either humanize or dehumanize certain people. What you're seeing here in Night City is a humanization and anthropomorphization. God damn it. You know what word I'm trying to use. Let me try this again. What we're seeing in Night City is corporations are being anthropomorphized in such a way that there's some empathy that people will draw for them. And then people are being dehumanized. They're being modified with a shitload of tech, and they're also just kind of talked about as if they're meat, right? Like it's all objectified. Seeing the way that those messages are relayed in Night City is going to be very interesting and continues to be interesting because we're starting to see what the values of society itself, particularly the people in power in this society, have. All right, sit and wait until the evening. So let's sit on one of these bolts till nighttime. All right. Here we go. Clouds. I'm going to guess potential flashing lights. Research.
Welcome to Clouds, where we know what you're looking for. Would you care to jack into the terminal?
So how's this all work?
An algorithm pilots the doll's motor functions. It takes your profile data and transforms into experiences in real time. Memory dampers on the doll's behavioral chip block any recall of the session.
So there'll be no trace of the meeting.
Well, I could say yes, but that would strip it of mystery and suspense, wouldn't it? Once you're in there, you set the stakes.
You're saying it's not dangerous, but there's some risk involved.
That is one way to put it. One thing is for sure, you never get what you expect.
Consider my interest piqued.
Oh, man. Okay, so there's a lot of things implied there. First of all, good night, Anonymous. A lot of things implied there. There's a memory chip that needs to be wiped. How sentient is this doll that it has a memory core? And why is it that it needs to be wiped? I mean, we're seeing blurred lines all over the place here, right? Like, we're seeing humans who are basically adding tech to themselves in order to become more like Robo-like. Does that also mean that there's the potential for, like, robots to be, like, humanized? Hard to know. But, ugh. I just don't like these vibes. It's very like Westworld. Those of you that have seen Westworld. Like, it has, like, those vibes. Like, basically, what will people do to other humans when they know that they're not actually humans? And then they have these memory cores and they get wiped and, like, all this stuff. Like, oh, boy. Hate it.
How could you possibly know what I'm looking for?
Clouds always knows. Your deepest desire, we find it. You'll have your needs fulfilled, and maybe much more. Less is not a word we use around here.
Looking for Evelyn Parker. She work here?
Give me a moment. Evelyn's not available at this time.
Need to see her. It's important.
The algorithm knows best. Trust me, it will choose a doll that will thrill you. Our dolls can change their hair and eye color in real time to look just as you wish.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking on this. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'll bet you that the reason these dolls know what you want is probably because they tap into, like, the internet, basically, where I'm guessing social media and stuff is just so deeply integrated into people and into their chips and their implants and all this stuff that, like, people are being monitored 24/7. In the same way that, like, if you talk about, like, cat litter and all of a sudden, you know, 2 days later, all of a sudden you're on, like, Facebook or you get, like, or Amazon is suggesting kitten litter and you're like, what? I don't even have a cat. Why is this happening, right? There's probably an extreme version here where basically you're being monitored at all times in terms of what you're talking about, what your voice inflection is like when you talk about it, how often you talk about something, what you're accessing, like if you're accessing porn on the internet and stuff like that. I'll bet all of that goes to a giant cloud, and then that's what's used to create, like, within the algorithm, so that it basically has an idea of what you're into. So much so that the algorithm itself may know more about your preferences than even you do. Like, how scary is that? That we could basically, like, computerize and make an algorithm that can track your preferences and patterns of behavior and inflection and everything, such that it can analyze what you're interested in more than you have the ability to recollect based just from your, like, memory and experiences. That's some really wild next level shit. And so when they say cloud never misses, that's probably what they're alluding to. And that's pretty gross when you think about it, right? Like, if something's free, you're the product is an old adage, especially as it relates to social media. This is how it comes out. And a lot of people are probably going to walk into this place and think, wow, how cool that I can just walk in and it immediately knows what I want and what my deepest desires are and all these sorts of things. When in reality, like, that's actually kind of scary and invasive. It's really not cool if you're into privacy. If you're into autonomy and privacy and keeping yourself safe, this isn't ideal. But I don't know that this is even a world where you can really have autonomy and that you can escape this stuff. It's freaking everywhere. Oof.
I'm not a customer.
Well, all the more reason to be excited. There's a first time for everyone at Clouds. It's no reason to dawdle. All you need to do is jack in. We'll create your personal profile and you'll be good to go.
I don't want to do that.
I'm sorry. Did she finally say anything useful? Fuck the menu. Let's ditch this waitress and take our special order to the chef, point blank. Meaning you go in as a customer, keep a low profile. They want to keep their cards close, fine. We'll play our own game.
That's interesting, Johnny.
Jack in, please.
Oh, man, I hate this. This is how they get you, okay? This is how it happens. This is no different than right now in 2022 when this video is being created. It's no different than when you were forced to provide your email to a company in order for you to be able to sign up to shop their store. And then what you do is you give them that little piece of information that now all of a sudden gives them access and their partners access to all the information that they can pull from that without you even knowing what that is. That's essentially what this is. As soon as I jack in for this, I'm not even just giving an email address. Who knows what they're going to pull off of this? And I literally can't go any farther here without doing it. I'm trapped. If I walk away from this and I say, no, I ain't doing this, I don't get to find Evelyn. And in real life, maybe that's worth it. But it's almost like you can't even participate in society at this point if you don't just jack in, and it becomes just so ubiquitous with how you navigate stuff. Just jack in. Just jack in. No big deal. Just give us your email. Just give us your name, your telephone number, your blood type, your social security number. No big deal. No big deal. It's just information. Don't worry about it. It's gross. And you feel so powerless against it. Because, like, as these things become more part of our daily functioning, you basically have to do it. You know, take into account people who are doing school from home, and you have to have a Chromebook, and you have to create a profile in order to act. Like, I mean, there's just so much shit that people have to sign up for in order to use stuff, and it can be weaponized. And in 2077, here it is. So I hate everything about the fact that I'm about to jack in.
All right, let's do this.
This will be a live session, so events may take an unexpected turn. But don't quit if you feel uncomfortable. You could miss out on something truly remarkable. If you feel unready to handle what comes next, you can interrupt the session immediately. Now for your safe word.
Samurai.
And saved. Now, bear with me a moment.
You're very welcome, Archer.
Personal profile. You should see compatible dolls in just a second.
Oh, wow. This is so weird.
Two matches. Interesting.
Is that normal or...
Who can say what is normal? You're clearly a unique person with unique tastes. Our system can handle it. So who will it be? Angel or Sky?
Oh, wow. This is so weird. I know I'm pausing a lot, but this is a really fascinating exchange, and there's a lot to break down here. This is how, I mean, timeshare sales basically work. This person who is doing this process with us has been trained to take all uncertainty and doubt and spin it in such a way that it appears to be to our benefit. And the psychological concept that's being weaponized here, if I will, is reframing, which is basically where you take a certain cluster of information and you change the way that it's framed to suit the context. And this can be used really dangerously in situations like this, where I don't quite know what's going on, and she knows how to curate that information in such a way that it can make it seem like it's to my benefit to not know. Oh, this anomaly makes you unique. Oh, jacking in is really important because it's part of what allows us to curate an experience that is totally going to be exactly what you need. Don't worry, our program can handle it. We're in the driver's seat. There's a lot of confidence, and it's very neutrally delivered so that we don't perceive it as threatening. This is how people find themselves doing things like timeshares, where they go in there thinking that they're not ever going to buy it, and then they do, because this systematically breaks down your uncertainty and fills it in with confidence and reframes that start to get spun in such a way where you go, oh, I can see how this works for me. You have to be massively defensive, almost to the point of an incredibly rigid boundary, in order to be defended against this. And that's not easy for people to do. People talk a big game until they walk into situations like this. What this woman is doing is systematic and is something that literally all of us are susceptible to if we're not careful.
Rather go with Sky.
I couldn't have chosen better myself. Now for the payment. and you'll venture into the clouds.
Let's try it.
Not here to pay and play. Just want some info.
Ah, unfortunately, that we do not sell. Should you change your mind, come back.
Johnny? And I'm really gonna have to do this, aren't I?
All right, I changed my mind. I'll pay.
Temptation is often too strong to resist. Please jack in.
This is just another example, chat, of how playing video games. I'm gonna zoom out for this really quick because this is an important point, and I really hope that people don't skip past this if you're watching the VOD. I love video games with all my heart. I love them. I think they're amazing. They get people through dark times. They provide enjoyment and connection in ways that like no other medium can. We talked about this in some of the other playthroughs, and I'm going to make the point again here. That playing video games inherently represents poor boundary making. In order to be the protagonist of a lot of video games, you have to bust past boundaries that you would actually have in real life here. I am immensely uncomfortable in this moment. I want nothing to do with what's happening here. But in order for me to be able to progress the plot forward and learn about what's happening, I have to deconstruct those boundaries and say, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I think it's very important for all of us as we play video games to realize that that's not necessarily a healthy thing for us to constantly be engaging with. You should have boundaries in real life. You should know what your limits are. It is not always to your benefit to blow past your boundaries just to see what's going to happen. We saw it in Red Dead. We see it here where there's discomfort. There's red flags everywhere, and we push past those boundaries because we want to make sure we can play the game. And you might be saying to yourself, man, Dr. Mick, come on, chill, buddy. Like, it's just a video game. It is. But it's also something that we are actively participating in. And it is showing us that there is reward for not sticking to your boundaries. And that's something that we just need to have in mind because it's one of the ways that video games don't mirror healthy aspects of reality. And it's a point that I'll probably end up making in just about every playthrough. So just always have this in mind when you're playing video games. That it would be okay here to walk away. We're not going to because I want to play the game. It's a public service announcement. I'm about to pay $500 for this shit. Here you go. Take my money and my autonomy.
There you go.
And the payments come through.
The entire floor is open to you if you wish to wind down first.
Sky awaits you in booth 9. Disconnect, please.
That it?
We have a strict no weapons policy here at Clouds. Please deposit any and all hazardous items with me. Don't worry, all your grown-up toys will be safe with us.
No, well, sure, fine, but I won't. Man, this is so systematic, man. You are breaking this down. Take away everything that makes you feel safe, all this stuff. Like, basically strip yourself down and just open yourself up to the algorithm, man.
Only too willing to spread their legs for you. Sad.
All right,
Go eat
Chief.
dick, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Jesus. You know how to be an asshole.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
All right, booth 9. Wow, I'm surprised we can see into this. Okay. Oh, man.
Guess that makes you a real deviant.
What? Funny, I don't have time for this. All right. Room 9.
Hi, I'm Sky. And you must be Vincent?
Oh man, I hate this. I hate this.
V. Just V. Only people who know me real well can use my real name.
Okay then. V.
Welp, looks like this'll be interesting.
So, V. You're dying.
Samurai! Dude, oh, dude. Okay. Okay. This is, oh God. Okay. This is awful. Okay. We have to be psychologically prepared for this, and I don't think there's any way to be psychologically prepared for this. All of this is by design. It's designed to throw us off, crack open vulnerability, and then wedge its way in order for us to have an experience that happens while we're on the edge of vulnerability. Basically, the idea behind this is that if we have our walls up, this isn't going to be a joyful experience. And that opener immediately throws us off because it goes for the gut. So it's really designed to crack us open. And we're going to just, I'm going to try not to pause too much as we go through this, but like if when she asked that, said you're dying, and you had an immediate reaction like I did of like, what the hell? Completely by design. I wasn't ready for that. I probably should have been, but we don't know what we're doing. It's cryptic. And we've been sold on the idea that this is going to be an amazing experience, that we just need to trust the process, and that you have to push through discomfort, push through your boundaries in order to have an amazing experience. Not a great message here. Holy shit, you ain't kidding, Moko. I'm not going to indulge it with questions. I'm going to stay in control here.
Silent. There's someone named Evelyn Parker.
Why?
Used to work here. Know her? Know where she is?
You need answers. That's clear. Just not the ones you think you need.
Asked you a simple question.
Evelyn Parker. Not the most important thing you're looking for, is she? I can smell your fear. You're afraid of something else.
All right, stay in control.
Just answer my question. Tell me where Evelyn is. Don't have time for a debate. Why'd the manager say she doesn't work here anymore? When was Evelyn last here? You know anything?
Evelyn had her own story before it collided with yours. But I know you'll find her. You always get your way.
Okay, so I don't like either of these options, right? Like, what am I afraid of? No. You don't get to tell me that.
Silent. Why?
This is what fulfilling my deepest desires looks like, is a little bit more of me taking control here.
I was told this place to fulfill my deepest desires. Not what I was expecting, this.
When true desires go unfulfilled, they turn into needs. We are here to reach for them and beyond. We are here to understand.
So what is it I need so badly?
To come to terms with the fact that you died. Now move on already.
Is this suggesting that V needs therapy? Come to terms with the fact that you died. Move on already. Even if she's right, that's the stupidest follow-up, man. Move on. Just move on. It's that easy, bud. Just move on. No. Now, what is interesting about this, again, she's monitoring my chipset, so she knows that this is probably something that V is considering, okay? But, like, this chick's not particularly great at her job right now. You can't just go at people's, like, insecurities and deep psychological desires and needs and unfulfilled stuff and whatever. Like, you can't just go deep. You got to build rapport, man. You don't get to act like you know me just because you can access the algorithm that tells you something about me. Chat, this is why the therapeutic relationship is so deeply important. This is why you have to have rapport with your therapist. This is why you have to have a few sessions where you just talk about a bunch of bullshit that doesn't feel like it's useful. You got to have a relationship. You could say anything to anyone as long as it's at the right time. And this ain't the right time. So I want to maintain control here. She's trying to take control by basically going at vulnerable shit. And you don't know me well enough to go there. Are you kidding me?
Silent. Why?
Because it was a stupid analysis. That's why. All right, so we're going to ask a question here. So I just give up.
Come to terms? Sure. Let me just curl up here on the floor and wait for whatever. Give up. That's what you're saying.
You're scared because you've given up on your dreams. What happened to becoming the best in all of Night City?
It's very clear that we're not going to get our information that we want. And I don't want to indulge her in this conversation.
Samurai.
Oh, what's going on? Goddamn thing threw me out.
Need to talk to you.
Talk? You pulled the emergency brake. Ripped me out just to talk? What happened? I do something wrong?
Oh my god. Thank God. Oh my. Holy shit. You know how I usually say, like, if this becomes distressing for you, you should, like, take a breath, get a glass of water, take a walk, pet your dog? This is one of those moments for me. I can watch just about anything. I can read just about anything. I've seen a lot of crazy shit on the internet. Like, it really just doesn't bother me. One thing that I don't tolerate watching very well, in movies or otherwise, is rape. And that's essentially what this is. And to use my safe word and have her snap out of it and basically become human is really just, I just felt my stomach lurch. What this place is doing is awful. Like, this is a human who basically gets hijacked, is used via proxy from some sort of, like, system to try to, like, engage with people for what they need. And basically they lose their entire autonomy in this process. And I have a hard time believing that these people are fully consenting to that. Like, yeah, it's basically a roofie. Like, basically, she has a electronic roofie. And then I am becoming a participant in this. And she's jarred by the fact that I pulled us out of this. And now I have, like, a chance to engage with her. And thank God I didn't do anything. But, like, I think at this point in 2077 in Night City, people are so used to this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, look how easy this was for us to access. It was $500. You jack in, you move into this, and I'll bet you the majority of people who come into this room think nothing of this. They think nothing of it, and they justify it to themselves by hearing that the memory can be wiped. Right? Okay, well, no harm, no foul. Not going to have a memory. However, I got to walk away with the memory. This is almost this is traumatizing to me in addition to being traumatizing to her. This is so normalized in Night City that it's become this accessible. And that is gross. That is awful. Ugh. I just sort of needed to take a breather here and just process it because holy hell. Now, I immediately feel a little bit more disarmed knowing that this chick is not programmed. So the fact that I've got her back, like, I feel this really strong desire to, like, take care of her and to take care of me. I'm going to try to get the information that I need. I'm going to be empathic. I'm going to get out of here. Oh.
If you're done here, you should go.
She's, like, disappointed, right? Like, did I do something wrong? Which tells me that she's probably afraid of whatever the consequences are going to be for her, like, place of employment and stuff, right? Like, are they going to come in and basically be like, you had a client use their safe word, you're not doing things right, you're going to be discarded. Like, she could be a real danger here because of the fact that I used my safe word, which is all the more of a coercive way of this cloud place basically making sure that I continue and follow through with the process. Like, the systematic.
There's some kind of seizure.
What do you know about Evelyn? Let's get the information.
Evelyn Parker. What do you know about her?
Not much. Everyone's got their own booths, their own problems, their own little bubbles. It's a fragile ecosystem. People like you barge in, violate it, try to rearrange. No.
Yeah, I put her at risk. I put her at risk here. I'll pay for the info.
I need this info. Name your price.
Fuck you, your Eddies, and that girl of yours. I could get fired for doing something like this.
I'll make it worth your while.
Yep.
All right, fine. Hand it over and get out before you land me in the shit.
Anything out of the ordinary happen here lately?
Fine. Heard a customer did a number on her. But that's all I know. Shit like that happens around here way more often than anybody'd care to admit. You ought to ask Tom. Two of them were inseparable, gossiping for hours on end.
A customer attacked her.
I guess. I don't know. Real mess that was. Security barged in, handled it. Things went silent. You don't go around asking questions here. Better off not seeing, not hearing. Keeping your head down.
Where'd it happen?
Her booth. Told you. She was with a client.
Gonna just stand there or tell me a number.
Don't be hostile, V. There's no reason for V to be hostile here. She has this woman has every right to be defensive. She's been very upfront. She could get fired for this. We have her in a bit of a one-down position, and V has absolutely no right to be shitty with her. V would be better off being kind to her, being appreciative, expressing that this is Very meaningful. Thank you. I know this is hard. I know that you're really not supposed to be doing this. This is helping me immensely. If there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. Like, whatever. But he needs to be a lot more nicer and empathic here. I do not like that V is basically being hostile and treating her as if she's some sort of object that's only around to his benefit. It's very frustrating for me to see the way that he's engaging with her. He is subconsciously has objectified her just based on how these types of things have been represented to him. And he's acting as if that's the case. He's not acting as if she's a scared human who could lose her job, who's really sticking her neck out for him, whether he paid for it or not. Just because I gave her $900 doesn't take away the fact that this woman is sticking her neck out for me. She's still deciding to take a risk. I'm not entitled to all of this information just because I gave her $900. Like, that exchange of $900 plays into the objectification of this woman. Now she is product that I have acquired using resources. We got to be real careful not to treat her that way. She is still somebody who is in a vulnerable position and is willing to work with me, and that deserves to be acknowledged and appreciated.
This booth occupied now?
Nah, I think it's been out of order since,
Need to get inside that booth somehow.
Yeah? And do what?
None of your biz. Can you open it or not?
Sure. Just don't bother me again. Ever.
Deal.
Talk to Tom.
Deal.
Who's Tom?
A doll, like the rest of us. What do you think? An XBD star?
Where'll I find him?
VIP area. Booth 2, I think.
This did not have to be this hostile.
See? You turned out to be useful after all.
What the fuck, V? Are you serious? Okay. All right. Curiosity before judgment. Curiosity before judgment. Not a big fan of that. However, there are two potential explanations for this. One is very like game contexty. The other one is like psychological contexty. Okay. The first one that I'm going to guess is the cyberpunky one, which is that might be Johnny. I have no idea. Like, maybe that's some sort of Johnny integration that's being an asshole. No idea. That's the cyberpunk theory. Now, the psychological one is the one that I'm more interested in, and I think that's why you all watch me. So we're going to break this down as if that's not Johnny Silverhand. Okay? V is understandably going to be agitated because if it's true that this algorithm is able to access his deepest fears and vulnerabilities, when that happens, people have different ways of protecting themselves when vulnerabilities are exposed. V, by virtue of being a nomad and somebody that's had to really fight for himself, is likely to compensate for vulnerability with aggression. So when this person asked that question about being afraid of dying and started to try to peel back layers, that was very invasive. It was very vulnerable for V. Our brain has a very difficult task when it's asked to differentiate the person from the process. So V is likely to overcompensate with aggression directed toward the object that is associated with that peeling back to vulnerability. So my guess would be that V is agitated, defensive, and aggressive because she actually did touch a nerve. And many of us do this. Some people might shut down. Some people might hightail it out of there. Some people might get really aggressive. That doesn't excuse V's behavior. It doesn't excuse him being a dick, but it does explain it. And there are times where we can look at people being aggressive, and if we're a little bit curious about where that comes from, we find that it comes from vulnerability, and it's a survival strategy that's been learned over time as useful to de-vulnerabilize ourselves, and in this case, V. So that's the more of the psychological analysis of what potentially is going on here with V. And I would like to remind folks who may be here for the first time or who are watching the VOD and maybe want to leave a comment, please no spoilers. Not backseat. Don't provide me with any information that I wouldn't otherwise have. We only want to work with information that I have until this point. This is a blind run, so please do not post anything that even remotely sniffs as a spoiler in chat. It is not appreciated. Or comments if you're a VOD watcher. I'm also going to use this as an opportunity just to say thank you all for being here. If you're here live with me, I hope you're enjoying the run. If you're watching the VOD, I hope that you're enjoying it as well. I appreciate your support of what I do. Please make sure you leave a thumbs up if you're enjoying this. Leave a comment, share my stuff, tell people about it. But thank you so much for supporting these runs and what I do. I hope my analysis is interesting to you. All right, get inside Evelyn's booth. She's booth 11, I guess. Are they going to notice if I turn this off?
Let's take a look, shall we?
Close. Close.
See that?
See what? Nothing there.
Exactly. There should be a port right there for the doll to jack into.
They rip it out?
Wonder why. Blood. Fresh. Not too much. Put it to a wound rather than a kill.
Police Hollowview active, reconstructed with holograms. Johnny, you got anything, buddy? NCPD materials are in here. That's...
Huh. What's this?
Oh, shit.
Well, client wasn't the one who flew off the handle. Something bit her in the ass.
Whoa.
What do you think? Cyberpsychosis?
I don't know, Johnny. I don't know the diagnostic criteria, buddy.
Sounds crazy, but she could have been remotely hacked. A netrunner?
Weird.
Wow. how we're gonna sneak past this guy. I don't know that I want to shoot him. I do find it fascinating that people are very quick to assume cyberpsychosis when they see behavior they don't understand. Alright, let's see if we can just kind of get past this guy. Alright, no problem.
But it would be much better real. I would eat those thighs.
What do you mean, real? She's all ones and zeros.
Do you mean I can ask her to do anything? Literally anything?
Ask? It's not about asking, man. Just gotta be programmed.
As establishments fuck sideways go, this one takes the whole damn pie. Hear that?
I agree, Johnny.
I don't hear no laments about pain. It hurts. It hurts.
It's a hologram. What's so hard to get?
Let me have my fantasies.
Not like you know how to hack it, so why don't we just shut up and enjoy the show?
Dehumanization. Okay, so this brings up a very important... I know I'm pausing a lot. This brings up a really important conversation. A lot of fantasy, particularly things like, well, I'm not going to necessarily... Rape can be a fantasy for some people, but like rape falls into this. It's less about sex. Actually, very rarely about sex with stuff like this. It's about power. Humans, deep down, one of the drives that we have for survival is power. If we have power, we are more likely to survive. And power and control, for a lot of people who don't experience power and control, is an absolute fantasy. And these dehumanization is a way to not only maintain a cognitive sense of power, it allows people to act in such a way that plays out that power fantasy. So if you know that it's a robot, for example, or you know that the memory is going to be wiped or whatever, people make all sorts of justifications that allow them to indulge that deep desire for power that they play out in a dyadic relationship or small group situation. But it's very rarely about like sex and sexual attraction when we hear shit like this. It's about the power. It's about that feeling that you're in control of something vulnerable. It's a very deep, primal experience that boundaries and consent and abstract symbols and all that stuff basically cut against. So if you can find a way to peel those back, that's very appealing for certain people. But those things exist for a reason. It's to protect people's autonomy. Consent is very important. We're going there with a lot of stuff tonight, chat. This place right here is really just it's a reflection of a lot of aspects of human nature that are ugly. And the thing that's important for all of us to remember is that we're all susceptible to these things.
What's that mean? I'm here every motherfucking week. You're not authorized to access the VIP area. Oh, yes, I am. No, sir, you're not. You can take it up with the manager. No, dog. I'm taking it up with you, here, now. You got any idea who I am?
Is there a problem?
This gonk don't understand that I've got a right to be in there.
From what I can see, your VIP membership has been revoked.
Say what now?
Please stay calm, sir. Or we're gonna have to escort you outside.
Come on, escort him so I can walk in there. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just here to get a soda.
No shortage of wise asses.
I'll see. You going back upstairs?
piss first.
Don't mind me, just getting a soda. Don't mind me, just getting a soda. Authorization not found.
Second floor is for VIP customers only.
Understood.
Huh? Could use a cat nap.
This guy whips out a sword and then pisses on the floor. What a champion. Sorry, bud. I need your card. And your katana. Learn to actually hit the target, bud. This doesn't. That was cool, whatever that was. Wait. Oh, okay. That's just to get money. Damn. What's up, bud? Shit. This was not the way. Oh, shit.
I really don't feel like this today. Show yourself.
Oh, shit. There's got to be a way for me to turn this alarm off, right? Son of a bitch. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. Okay, so these guys are all... Alright, so I just gotta, like... These guys are all still hostile. Which is bad. I don't... Oh, man. I guess I gotta deal with it. There's nothing I can do.
Here, kitty, kitty. Let's play.
And I don't have my guns. Oh, this sucks. I do have a katana, though, right? Not how I wanted to handle this at all, man. Well, I guess I get a different chance to do it now that I died. Son of a bitch. Ah. All right, where's this gonna reload me? I didn't just... I should have just taken the VIP card and go... Oh, no, I have to do this. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, this sucks. A lot. I need this guy's gun. I need the gun. Holy shit. I just want to talk to Tom, guys. I just want to talk to Tom. Oh, it's just so bad. Oh my god, this katana sucks.
That fucking situation!
Alright. Much better. Okie dokie. Ugh. Oh boy. Oh! Oh man, this sucks. This sucks. Alright. We're gonna sneak around. I want to sneak around. Or maybe I can just get in and talk to Tom.
What do you want? Don't shoot me. Don't hurt me. I didn't do anything.
Relax, you're not in trouble. Just want to talk for a little. Heard you and Evelyn get along famously. Is that true?
Yeah. We go way back. Always stuck together. Why do you ask?
Where's Evelyn? Need to talk to her urgently. It's important.
Well, are you mad at her or something?
No. Know where she is or not.
She's not here. Tried calling her more than once, no answer. Heard she was chipping a new faceplate in a clinic in Osaka. No, Oslo. That was it.
Osaka or Oslo? Which is it?
Oslo. Yeah, definitely Oslo.
Evelyn tell you personally she was going away?
No, just
didn't show up for work. Wasn't picking up either, so I asked Woodman what was up. Told me she left, like I said.
Where can I find this Woodman?
Probably got his feet up in the back office.
Great.
Woodman, who is he?
Mr. Forrest, but we all call him Woodman. Never really known why.
Okay, Mr. Forrest then. Who is he?
He's kind of like our caretaker. Finds new talent, deals with ugly situations.
Could it be Woodman finally shed some light on this shit show? Man can only dream. The skull sponges in these dolls. Ugh, that's what they should be replacing.
All right, Johnny. No need to be... Not a huge fan of Johnny Silverhand right now. Okay.
Let's play.
We're gonna do this the smart way. What? I rebooted your optics. Oh, this sucks. This sucks. Oh. Oh, man. I got no chance. Oh, man. I really need that guy's gun. Alright, we'll figure this out. Thank God this guy's AI sucks. Really? I don't get his gun? Okay, there we go. Okay. Boy, we're gonna have to be...
Let's play.
I really don't feel like this today. Show yourself.
VIP tokens galore here. Alright, let's act quick. What is there? I need like some kind of like weapon or something, man.
Show yourself.
situation?
Who are you? What do you want?
Chill, keep calm. I'm looking for a girl.
Okay, Cam. Interesting word choice for someone who plowed through, massacring all along the way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Things got out of hand, I'll admit. But cooperate, and no one else will get hurt.
I don't negotiate with terrorists.
You don't, huh? Well, you could really take it in the chin, huh?
Well, aren't you the king of fuck-ups?
Yep.
You're not helping. Now what?
Hell, why don't you just scan the truth from his gray, lifeless eyes? Or scour his cum?
That just might work.
Oh, man. This is going swimmingly. We doing this? Goods are taken care of. Round up 5 or 6 girls and 2 guys, but make sure they're actually young, not like last time. God. Heard you specialize in joy toys. Get one here that's busted up pretty bad. Mind taking a look? Ask me at Clouds. What's wrong with her?
Busted. Could have sent her to get it patched up.
A ripper named Fingers in a back alley for hookers. Sounds like a Joy Toy's wet dream.
Alright, what's wrong with her? Think I'd be asking if I knew? Just come over and look. Alright, bring her here. Got a clinic on Jig Jig, side off alley off Poplar. How much you charge? Depends, we'll work something out. Worst case, you leave her here for a small fee. Message me back about the job at Clouds. Got another offer. Gotta give them an answer. Not like they're gonna wait forever. That's not how it works. I'm not in charge of hiring. Send a portfolio. Oh, so you're telling me to send a portfolio? Because that's not what you said last time when you wanted to fuck me, asshole. Hey, Ginger, how's things? Hope you're in tip-top shape as usual and that you haven't literally sucked all your badge contacts bone dry yet. I need a Hollow View stat. I know the pigs have won the Supreme. Wrangle one for me. I also need you to do some sniffing around here. Wrangle? Go wrangle yourself. Let's start over. A little orgy you had with my dolls? Well, they scroll everything. So if you don't want your dear husband to get an email from me, I'm going to need that Hollow View tomorrow morning. Yikes. Fine. One more shit show like with Evelyn Parker and you can kiss your job goodbye. Hiromi's words. So far, we've put up with your crude behavior toward employees and turned a blind eye when you beat up a client. But this was beyond the pale. Hey, boss, solve the Parker problem. Send her to a ripper on Jig Jig Street. The guy's name is Fingers, though he should be called Face. Anyway, should take care of that from here. Alright, Johnny. We're just gonna clear the rest of this place out, I guess. Leave Clouds. I will happily leave Clouds. I want to get my ship. I'm gonna get my ship back first, though. This gun is awesome. And I mean, I guess in some ways, killing the people who work here doesn't piss me off that much because this place sucks, but holy shit. Oh my god. Woo! Dude, this gun is awesome. Holy shit. Get the hell out of here. Woo! Look at all these access tokens.
I'm required to return your weapons, even though I'd rather not.
Well, thank you. Even though I just shot up your entire club.
Hey, I don't know anything. I just work here.
What a shit show that mission was. Oh, God. I got a shitty katana. Oh, man. That just didn't go well. Didn't go well. Not even a little bit. Oh, my God. I can't do it all cleanly. All right, so we know she's at a Ripper dock.
Nice work back there. Ever thought of applying for the diplomatic corps?
That's infidelity.
You think Fingers got her? Think we'll find her there?
V, if I could see that far, I wouldn't be a fucking ghost on a chip in a corpse's head right now.
Meat, not latex. That's so hard to understand.
Don't have time to massage egos.
I respect that.
Of course you do. You'd have loved to have dropped the H-bomb on this place.
No need to go so OTT. I've got other methods. One thing's for sure, though. Claus won't forget this.
Okay, so V holds some sort of hostility to Johnny for the fact that he nuked the Arasaka Tower, and I would love to know why. Why the hell does V care? Other than, I guess, like, it's maybe partially involved with why we're dealing with what we're dealing with, but probably just mad at Johnny in general for hijacking him. Oh, what the hell? What is going on with my chip?
You had a plan, you tried, it fell flat. Now you're flat. Don't look in any condition to find help.
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck! The hell's that?
Relic malfunction detected.
No, damn it.
Jesus, the fuck do you want from me?
It's all going too slow. Gonna decommiss before we learn how to rip the chip out.
Wanted me dead. Said so yourself.
Made it pretty clear since that I changed my mind.
You did.
Want you to live now.
What do you want?
Asked you already. What the hell you want from me?
I got a get out of jail free card. I'd be a fucking fool not to take advantage. See, me and Arasaka, we got a half-century-old score needs settling, and I plan to do it. That's what I need you for.
But why? Fighting for some dated ideal? Pursuing a personal vendetta?
You don't need to know. Here to get me from point A to point B. Listen, I know things. Where we can save your life. Who can help us do that? You'll get rid of the chip. I'll smash Sokka. Win-win, kid. Soul Killer's what we need. And Mikoshi's how we grab it.
All right, if he's gonna be real with me, I'm gonna be real with him.
Don't trust you. Clear, right? So why would I trust in your plan?
Cause you've heard your death knell, but you'd rather live. So if you're done bitching, I'd be happy to explain. Sound good?
Not really, no.
Well, sooner or later, Mikoshi's where we're headed.
Come on. You got more to say, so just say it.
50 years back, ops on the human mind. Mikoshi was the sole place on Earth where they did anything like that. Bet it still is today. Telling ya, all roads lead there. It's where we'll settle our biz. You yours, me mine.
All right, well, you better be willing to give me lots of info, buddy.
And, how you plan to smash Arasaka this time? Got another nuke tucked away?
This time, bomb's named Alta Cunningham.
I'm supposed to know who that is?
Not yet, but you will once we find what we need. For now, we got no time to lose. Need to get inside Mikoshi.
So Johnny has the capability to hijack my chip? Jeez. Well, I appreciate him telling me what his motives are, I guess. That's a start. There's a lot of people asking a lot of me without... like, by basically assuming that they know what I want in return. And I don't know that I'm a huge fan of that.
B, you called.
Promise I called, didn't I?
Promising's one thing, keeping it's a whole other bag. So, managed to learn anything?
Evelyn's not at Clouds anymore. Behavioral chip was damaged. Apparently they carted her off to a ripper dock. Goes by Fingers.
Oh shit.
Know where to find this Fingers character?
Yeah, runs a dinky chop shop off Jig Jig Street. Fuck V. Guy's all kinds of bad news.
Heading there now, to find her.
I told her to stay the fuck away from Clouds. Alright, later V.
Alright, so we build a little trust with Judy. Which I think is going to be important because Judy obviously knows a bunch of stuff. Alright, well, let me read that. If I've learned one thing from joy houses, it's to quit while the going's good. Stare at those fake smiles too long, and all you see is misery. As far as clubs go, they're all pretty pathetic, but at least it's in their own way. You know the chances of finding Evelyn are close to zilch, right? Like, that's going to change your mind. Anyway, let's go pay a visit to so-called Fingers, but if we don't find Parker, you owe me a drink.
I'm sorry, sir. A moment of your time.
Well, what is it this time?
The pipe that burst in our building.
Those city bastards still haven't sent anyone to fix it.
Watch your language. Can't you see who you're talking to?
Please, what do you need?
Well, we need the pipe fixed, that's for sure. Maybe something to fix up some of the units too. There's water damage all over.
All right, I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Man, what a world where you, in order to get your landlord to do anything, you have to hire gang mercenaries in order to assist. That's rough. In your line of work, one must be quick and punctual. Since you seem to struggle with both, I figured you could use a motorcycle. If you can only have one, let it be the best. The Yaiba Kusanagi. I happen to have one for sale. Buy it and you will not regret it. Okay. Quit trying to sell me shit. I have a really sweet car. Alright, we're going to Jig Street.
City, your man Stan here.
Do you know what Militech does with gangsters who murder prison guards with their bare hands? They ship them off to the most max security joint money can buy, as was the case with Bradley Costigan.
Pretty merciful, all things considered. I'd have expected him to get their severance package by now. What's shaking, Night City? Your man Stan here. If you're not sporting Sin Skin, don't step foot under the sky today. Biotechnica's weather team has acid rain in the forecast. Have asthma? This goes for you too.
Oof. All right, let's see what's up. Your neighbor already called. As low as 31.1% APR. Oh my God. Oh. Student loans of the future. Holy shit.
My, this has a wicked vibe. See, this more up your alley than clouds.
Hey, at least here you know what you're getting.
Fair enough. Man, I love the rain.
What's the rush?
This is awesome. It should just rain all the time. I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah, gear looks a little basic, but it works.
The hell?
Like I said, he just finished and said, see you next time.
Hey, not one step closer. Here to see who.
You told me not one step closer, but I gotta walk closer in order to talk to you, so I'm gonna just take a couple steps closer.
Got an issue, need sorting out. Here to do that. So how about you fuck off, let me through, and no one will be the wiser.
So serious from the get-go? I was only joking. Sheesh. Fine. Let him through, Sludge.
See, one of the reason I chose that option, these guys seem like they're, biters. Or barkers, not biters. Everything here is a show of force. So if you sort of stand up to it, look, they step aside. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think people around here really want trouble. I think they're just trying to save face. So it worked out. It was nice. All right. Now, let's make sure.
No, I'd rather live here. Just don't turn off the lights.
Joy toy.
Summer means rain. Means I have to sit in the basement the whole time.
Oh my god.
Hey, you all right?
No way I'm gonna swim. I hate water. Can't you see nobody cares?
Fingers. Know where I can find them?
If I could, I'd swap, you know? Why does everything have to be so damn convoluted? In the end, all I got left are shredded cables and empty bottles.
Oh my god, this place sucks. All joy toys. Dead. Under the influence of drugs.
Oh, gracious creature and benign, who goes visiting to the element of pure. Us, who the world with bloody stain imbrued. If for a friend the king of all we owned, our prayer to him should for thy peace arise.
Sounds like paradise.
So I'm trying to get a sense of when Johnny is like aggressive and crass versus when he's reasonable, because I think that's going to give us some real insight on his motivations and what drives him. Whenever there's something that calls for like some significant empathy, Johnny seems to get nasty. And I wonder if being like nasty and abrasive is Johnny's way of coping with empathy that he experiences for people. And part of what, like, because if you think about like what Johnny's most known for to an extent is nuking Arasaka Tower. And it was a very anti-corporate move to do that. And I do wonder if part of that move was driven by empathy for the little man. For the proletariat, so to speak. Like, I wonder if one of the ways that Johnny copes with maybe a massive amount of empathy for the struggles of people is by being aggressive and abrasive as a way to keep people at a distance when he notices it. A lot of folks do that. It allows him to keep distance from people. It's probably scary to let people in and really engage in a vulnerable way about the struggles that other people have. And so he fights it. And he manages to keep everybody at arm's length by pissing them off. And I'm going to be interested to see how often that's how he responds when there's something like this happening, right? Like, this is the kind of thing that really all of us should look at and be sad by. Like, damn. Like, this sucks. These people are, like, on drugs. They're joy toys. They're sitting in this dingy-ass building. Johnny sits down and, you know, makes a snide comment. So when is Johnny let his defenses down versus when is Johnny aggressive? Sometimes you get more information about people's vulnerabilities by when they're more aggressive rather than by when they're in control.
Hey, hands off her!
Think I'm scared of your skinny ass?
You will be when every mox in town descends on this shithole. You got a financial claim? Take it to court, you pussy.
I get it. Everyone's got their breaking point. Just pay me what you owe me, and you can fuck off to greener pastures.
Nice outfit. Pimp. Affiliation. All right, dude.
I don't owe you shit.
Oh, but you do. And that shit has a name. Something around 20,000.
What? Come on, you pulled that number out of your ass.
Hey, what's that tone with me, you skank? Hey, look in the mirror. Who paid for all that? Think Fingers would have fixed a cracked faceplate for free? You want out, you gotta pay me back.
Ugh. Pimps are gross, man. She does all the work and he just... Ugh. Okay. Follow the condoms.
V, hey.
I wasn't expecting you to be here, Judy.
Hello? There's a
Sit your ass down and wait your turn.
Fingers guy. You know him?
Heard some things, yeah.
Like?
His hand sometimes slips.
Ugh.
Crime block. McCrane scanned the room with a deft Kuroshi sweep. This corpse was no different than the dozens he'd seen over the years. The dead man's eyes frozen in fear, his ligaments, wires, and intestines strewn about the floor. None of it made any impact on McCrane anymore. I've lived too long, he thought. Cops who don't die quick usually find themselves playing for the other side eventually. This case is as clear as a used napkin at Deputy Zhao's, he murmured to Junior Inspector Milanowski. Cyber Psycho came in through the window. Victim let him inside. Must have known each other. Prints are all over the glass. Holy shit! Milanowski shook with his head in disbelief. How'd the fucker get all the way up in the 11th floor? See those grooves in the windowsill? Climbing spikes, implants. Kids these days are getting installed to pull stupid rooftop stunts. Get cheap thrills. Milanowski made his way over to the window to examine the evidence his superior had so effortlessly pieced together. The veteran detective lit a cigarette and stared back into the corpse's lifeless eyes. Although McCrane had never seen this man before, he felt as if he'd known him a long time, and still, he felt nothing for him. No pity, no compassion. He was only a body now, no longer a person. Suddenly, Malinowski's unsteady voice woke McCrane from his thoughts. Boss? These prints on the outside of the window, they belong to you. McCrane let out a quick, punctuating chuckle. Never much took you for a jokester, Malinowski, the detective said with an amused smirk as he rolled up his sleeves to expose his wrists. And I wonder, just how would I get there without any climber's claws, Before the junior inspector could respond, McCrane felt an uneasiness shoot up his spine. This room, this man, the smell of his blood. He felt compelled to walk over to the savaged victim and reach inside his pocket. A photo. His own face staring back at him. Malinowski slowly drew his pistol. I believed in you, the shaken protege uttered with pain in his voice. All this time, I idealized a murderer. I don't understand, muttered McCrane, scarcely loud enough to hear his own voice. Something else began to draw out his words, even his thoughts, a strange primal force. For the first time in my life, I don't understand. And then crack! A gunshot.
Glad to see a familiar face.
I'm worried sick about her, V. Had no idea anything had happened.
We'll find her. I know we will. After the heist, Evelyn holed up with the Mocks for a while, right?
That's right.
So why the hell she'd go back to Clouds?
Thought she'd be safer there. God knows why. Tried to get her to see straight, but she wouldn't listen.
You talked to Fingers yet?
If only. He's harder to get in to see than the best docs in town. We're gonna be here forever. I just know it. Maybe you could talk to those girls, see if we can cut in front?
Why me?
I don't think they like me. Just give it a shot. That or come up with something better.
Think Evelyn's being kept here somewhere.
On the one hand, hope she is, because I want her back fast. But on the other, hope to God no, because who knows what that sick fuck could have done to her.
She means a lot to you, doesn't she?
And you've arrived at that conclusion how exactly?
Moment you knew where she was, you sprang into action.
Once you get close to Evelyn, you never want to let her go.
You worked at Clouds.
Not as a doll. Tuned their virtues. That's where I met Ev, Tom, and the rest of the crew.
Tuned to their virtues. All right. You know, one of the things I don't like about Judy not giving me a heads up that she was coming, though, is that she's now presented herself as an unknown variable. She's something else I have to pay attention to, which I can appreciate, but I don't really know Judy well enough. And she's another person, kind of like Jackie was back in the beginning of the game, who is emotionally invested in what we're doing. We're emotionally invested, but I think we're a little bit more at a distance. Judy has like a personal connection to Evelyn. She is like, that goes beyond business. And as lovely as that is and romantic as it is, when we're trying to do business, that creates emotional variable, which is not necessarily something that's going to be useful to us. Judy's useful because she provides information. She knows how to hack into this stuff. She's got a lot to offer, but like her just showing up and being this drawn is something that like now I have to attend to, because now she's in on this in a way that I didn't exactly ask for. I know I called her to let her know what was going on, but I didn't exactly say, meet me down there. She kind of took it upon herself to do that. What other things is she going to take it upon herself to do without consulting with me first? Not that I'm her overlord, but if this is my mission that I'm working on and I'm the one that's got to drive the bus on it, I got to know that she's going to work with me, not ahead of me. Because then it's another variable I have to intercept and react to, and I don't really want to do that if I can help it. Communication between me and Judy's got to get better. All right. Let's see if I can talk to him.
Fingers. Where'll I find him?
He's operating on somebody right now.
Been in there for ages. Shouldn't be much longer.
Don't hold your breath. I spent hours waiting for him to come out. Especially when he collects payment right after the procedure.
$3,400. Find yourselves a better Ripper Doc. You know, Chad, if I'm nothing if not benevolent.
Here. This ought to cover you for some real chrome from a real Ripper.
If you're flush enough to afford a real Reaper, then what are you doing here?
Hell do you care? He here because he feel like it. Not that you and me dealt
I love that. The hell do we care? Take the money and go. Yep, pretty much. You don't gotta ask questions.
Done. We going in?
Come on, let's go.
All right, that was worth the money, I guess. Fingers MD. That's all there is. Okay.
Yes? Hello? What can I do for you?
In the area, get an idea of what's going on here. Bottle. He's got good taste in music. I'll give him that.
Need a minute of your time.
A minute? That's all? Shame. Could watch those juicy lips of yours flap for hours, days. But I'm busy right now. You Tiger Claws? Far as I know, I'm all paid up.
We're with the Mox.
The Mox? Why didn't you say so? So, what brings you here?
Okay, so we can power. Okay? Power, chat. The theme. The theme of this game. This guy gave us a hook. When he said I could watch those juicy lips flap for hours, he disarmed himself. We can leverage that. The dude's attracted to me. Perfect. We got to flirt with him a little bit to get the information. Maybe we do that. But he has given us an in. You know? And it's sad because I'm basically perpetuating a process that I've been critical of throughout this playthrough. Like, he gives me something and then I take it. And I grab it and I use it to my own benefit. This is why people are on the defensive. But I got information. I need to get it. All right? So this is the environment we're in. We do have to adapt to an extent. And I feel gross doing it. But
Get why we're here?
let's call him out. I don't know that this is really the best way to start, though. Let's start with this one.
Heard you help the workers.
We're going to ease into it.
Well, very few children will play with broken toys. So when skin goes flabby, sockets go out of whack, implants malfunction, I'm sure you get the gist. You pay for goods, you expect top quality. Consumerism 101.
Please. Scrapyards offer better quality than this.
All right, Judy. This is why Judy being with me is frustrating. I don't need Judy antagonizing him. Shitting all over this guy's shop is a terrible idea. Calling him out on this right away, it's going to put him on the defensive. Like, Judy's great, but Judy right now is not helpful. This is exactly what I was talking about by now having a third party that I have to attend to. I'm working the guy. I'm slow playing this. And Judy comes in like a freaking battering ram and starts shitting all over his office, which is probably something that's very important to him. This is why coordination. You're going to have multiple people involved in this. You had damn well better communicate about it, be proactive, and establish roles in leadership. This is why we need it, because otherwise this shit devolves. I can't stand that she just did that. Now, I could...
Forget why we're here?
I'm going to put him a little bit on the defensive here to see if he'll give me information. Because I want to maintain control here. So I'm going to call him out on the faulty implants just to see, because I have leverage. Remember, he's attracted to me. We're going to use this as a means to get him on the rears so that he's maybe willing to give me information to compensate for what I'm calling him out on.
These girls know you're chipping faulty implants?
You might say so. I'd say they're the very best I can find. See?
What's in it for you?
Whatever they have to offer. And they always have something to offer.
You're a sick fuck. Know that?
All right, Judy, easy.
What do you two want?
All right. Got him on the rears now.
Evelyn Parker. I need to know where she is.
Step into my office, please. Many girls come through here. So many. But let me put it to you this way. I believe in giving each of them the personal touch. Ask anyone. I'm more than a chop doc. See, I know what people truly want. To be flattered, praised, patted. To feel like they deserve it. Of course.
Now, there is a good chance that's projection. See, people let their cards out in ways they don't realize. He gave me more information about how to engage with him. Okay? Now, I recognize that the game is only going to give me certain things to respond to him with. But if this was an organic conversation with this guy and we're in this room, him saying that he knows what people want and being so, like, confident about that, sure, may come from some experience with working with people. But it's projection. That's how we engage with him. He thinks that's what other people want, and that's what he tries to curate for people. This dude wants to be flattered. This guy wants to be recognized. This guy probably likes that people sit in the waiting room for hours on end because he gets some reward from that. It makes him feel good. It makes him feel desirable. People, now he's forcing people's hands in some ways in order to make him feel desirable, but this is absolutely a bi-directional thing. This isn't just people come in, he works on them, he's completely impartial and he lets them out. He's given us information on how to engage with him. So if I'm V here, I'm going to be flattering the shit out of him. I'm going to give him adoration. I'm going to talk him up. I'm not going to break him down like Judy's doing, because to do that is antithetical to what is going to grab him. He just gave us his values right there on a silver platter, and we would want to leverage that in this conversation if we could.
I can't remember each and every one. Please set your exquisite derrieres down.
So I need Judy to be chill.
Went jittery soon as I mentioned her name. Don't try getting out of this. I know you remember her.
I have a neurological condition. It's not easy living with tics. Really, I'd love to help, but if only I knew who you were talking about.
Oh, I don't want to be antagonistic. We're going to try it this way.
What about your logs? Gotta have some kind of record.
Tech like this, you don't register. Don't put any names down for it.
Blue hair, doll chip. Best brain dance gear ever, though damaged. Was she here?
Poor girl. Tried to help her, I did. But as you can see, this isn't exactly a state-of-the-art facility.
You mentioned you couldn't help her. Help her with what exactly?
If I only knew, I wager she'd be standing here, happy and smiling. Instruction register on her chip was burnt to a crisp. Tried replacing it. Nothing.
Damage was caused by a netrunner using homebrewed malware.
We think.
Sounds about right.
Get to the point.
The point? Ah, yes. Well, I haven't the faintest idea where she is.
Enough of this bullshit! What'd you do
Judy.
to freak?
Judy. No.
Now, either you put a muzzle on this creature, or put her down. It's impossible to have a conversation with her around.
This ain't that hard. Not that hard. All right? He signaled it. As soon as Judy comes in and talks shit, it breaks down. Judy is all up in her feelings. She's looking at this guy as part of the reason that Evelyn's missing. Her emotional investment in this extends beyond the moment. And so now she is a variable that is constraining this. This is why we have to understand the way that emotions play into this. Judy's not operating in a way that's in control. She's reacting. So she's coming on super strong because she's assuming that this guy has a role in it. We don't know whether he does or not. I'm trying to get information from him. And the way that we do that is to listen and look for context clues with how to engage with this guy to get information and feel like we're on his side. Judy is the antithesis of that. I need the information. Him calling her a creature, whatever. He's on his defensive now because she literally did the thing that's going to shut him down. I need Judy to calm down or get out. I'm going to take this guy's side right now. Judy and I can hash this shit out later. I can talk to her about this. But this is what I mean by involving Judy being a problem. Like this breaks this entire thing down. It's got to be me and him. We have to work with him. And we're going to do that through positive reinforcement and through reward for engaging with me, not by shitting on him. So I'm going to advocate for him here and tell Judy to calm down or get out. We need that boundary. She has to keep it together.
Jude, calm down, okay? You're not helping. Let me do the talking. Now, Evelyn Parker, where is she?
Could very well be on her way to becoming the next underground brain dance darling. That's all I know.
You sure about this?
4 days I had her here. She was out cold in La La Land for practically every minute. It wasn't a slumber party. We didn't have pillow fights and promised to send each other postcards.
Now, this guy's probably working with his sense of incompetence of the fact that he wasn't able to fix her up, right? So we're seeing him now become a little bit more aggressive. He gets aggressive in response to something that's vulnerable. We use context clues to understand that. Judy comes at him with criticism. He gets really defensive and aggressive. He starts talking about how he couldn't help Evelyn. He gets really defensive and aggressive. So now we know that a soft spot for him is a sense of incompetence around potentially being able to fix her. So again, if we're V, we're going to soften. Hey, man, that really sucks. That must have been really frustrating that you weren't able to fix her up. I imagine you do pretty good work. People are really responding well to what you do. I see you have lines out there. That must have really sucked to have her come in here and then not be able to help her. So I want to be able to figure this out too. This is a way that you can help her by giving me this information, right? You empathize with his position. You get into his shoes and you deconstruct his vulnerabilities through validation of that vulnerability. And you work with that. You help him feel like we're on the same side with this. You can be useful, and I can recognize you for that. Those are the two core things that we've learned about him in the last 5 minutes that we can use in order to move this conversation forward and get him to work with us. It's really that easy.
What do you mean by underground?
I don't know. I mean, I don't watch that sort of stuff.
Snuff? XBDs?
Judy?
I told you I don't know.
See that? She makes it worse.
Where will we find her?
I like you. You're frisky, intrepid. When I realized I wouldn't be able to help her, patch her up, I called my fixer. 2 guys came and picked her up the same day.
Who'd you call? Who's your fixer?
Easy, V.
Wakako. Told her I had a busted doll with a BD implant to hand off.
Where did they take her?
I told you already. I don't know. They weren't the talkative kind, and I'm no gunk. I know better than to ask questions of people like that.
You're no gunk? What do you think? Why'd all these girls come in here, let you grope around them? Think it's for your charm? Your caring attitude?
They do it because they got no choice. And in the end, they despise you. They can smell you're pathetic.
You've got to know how to take power in certain situations. Judy thinks that she has the power when she does this. Judy is coming at him with a show of force and criticism that she is equating to power and control, when in reality, she is losing control of the situation by doing this. Get out, Judy. Get out. Power in this circumstance is being reserved, is taking what this guy gives us, is picking our spots. Sometimes there's power in silence. There's power in letting this guy squirm around in his incompetence. Again, she is so emotionally invested in Evelyn that she is acting out of bounds here in a way that is constraining my ability to work with this. I know that I'm belaboring the point, but like, we can all learn from this. If Judy acknowledges where she's at with this, I think she probably exerts a little more control. She probably has a little bit more silence in here than coming at him hard. See, because Judy's vulnerabilities are being pressed against right now. When this guy says he doesn't have the information, this heightens Judy's sense of incompetence that she doesn't know where Evelyn is. That maybe, just maybe, she doesn't know Evelyn as well as she thought she did. And Evelyn's absence and her inability to attend to that is heightening that incompetence. So she then feels like she's losing control. So she overcompensates by taking control of Finger. So now she takes control of him in a way that rubs against his vulnerabilities and sense of incompetence, that he had to call a fixer, that he wasn't able to fix her, that he is not as good of a doctor as everybody thinks he is, which he knows. And so now I have 2 people sitting in front of me that are in their vulnerabilities that are going to overcompensate with survival strategies, and I'm the loser here because I'm the one that needs to find Evelyn and is trying to keep a cool head. This is how this stuff escalates. You have 2 people right now that are sitting in intense vulnerability in different ways, with entirely different contexts, with entirely different agendas. This isn't time for me to be a freaking therapist for the 2 of them. This is time for me to be able to figure this out. I don't have time for interpersonal drama between 2 people who just met and are projecting like crazy on each other. You got to know who your homies are when you're in these moments. You got to bring the right people And if people are going to present an unknown variable like this, you're better off going in it alone. Out of curiosity, in the comments and in chat, if any of you have played this game before, I would be curious if this way of analyzing this has moved you over to Fingers, to empathizing with Finger in maybe a way that you didn't before. Because I think there's probably, I think for many of us, it's very surprising that we would empathize with Finger because he's very much brought in as if he's this like bad, skeevy guy that we should hate. But I have a lot of empathy for him in this situation. Like, we're supposed to hate this guy, but not if you deconstruct this.
These guys, what do they look like?
Like you, me, anyone else in this city.
Really now? They look like you?
They look like the kind of guys you don't make eye contact with. One of them was a bearded fellow.
The two that came for her. Didn't say anything about where they were gonna take her, what they were gonna do to her.
Mentioned something about virtues with a moth, of all things. Said she'd be perfect for them, whatever that means. But that's really all I know.
You pawned her off like she was some fucking inanimate mannequin.
Because that's exactly what she was.
He's not helping there, but...
Need air. I'll be outside.
Good. Thank you. Now, it does me no good to side with Judy while I'm sitting with him. No good. I have to advocate with him right now. He has the information. Judy doesn't.
She, overdid it a bit. Temper's been running high lately.
Yes, well, you're a far more reasonable beast. Handsomer, too.
And who knows, I might need him later. I get Judy's anger, okay?
I'll be glad to show you around. But, later, perhaps.
I understand and appreciate Judy's anger. It's her reactivity to it and her response to it is not helpful in this moment. So I can go out there and I can validate. But damn, that knife is super good. All right, Judy. Where the hell did she go? Oh, she went all the way outside.
I let her
Okay.
go back to Clouds. Could have stopped her, but I didn't. And you two got along swimmingly, didn't ya? Exchanged numbers, too. Two birds of a fucking feather.
Now we empathize with her. And I'm not going to take that personally. Judy's anger at me there is not personal. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with her. Feels like she's lost control. She's doing everything she can to maintain control. Now, I'm going to meet her there. I'm going to meet her at the vulnerability. Instead of taking that personally and making it about me, oh, dare you, blah, blah, blah. That's not useful. Instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to say, I know what this is about. This is about the fact that you lost Evelyn. You care immensely about her. You want to get her back. I am with you in this, Judy. I'm also trying to get her back. I'm with you. Okay? We'll find her. I'm going to be reassuring here. I'm not going to be antagonistic. This is the time now for me to empathize with Judy.
Don't worry. We'll find her. I know it.
We'll fucking find what's left of her butchered corpse.
Hey, keep it together. You want to give up now?
No. Only lead we got's an XBD. Where's that get us?
We also know we're looking for something related to the Death's Head. It's better than nothing.
I don't get your optimism. Still sounds like a big fat nothing to me.
I'm optimistic because that's giving me something to go off of, Judy. If we resign ourselves to the fact that she's dead, then why even go after her?
Dead set symbol bring anything to mind? Anything. Doesn't matter how small.
This industry... I mean, market's looking for every kind of fetish out there. It's cavernous. But an XBD outfit'd be on the move almost always. Makes them harder to nab, harder to sting.
Need to figure out where they're scrolling this stuff. Gotta be a rat hole of some sort. Doubt they do much shooting on location.
Yeah, gotta be somewhere quiet, out of the way.
It could be we'll see something to point us in their direction and one of their virtues.
Ugh, have to be real gonks to leave a clue.
Everyone, everything leaves something behind. Just need to know where to look. Lucky for me, I'm running around with the best BD specialist in town. Has an extra pair of expert eyes.
Well, your BD expert has a better idea. Pleasures of Night City, a domain with its twin on the dark net.
There we go.
Every kind of thing goes on there. Might stumble on something useful.
Right? Perfect. You give Judy a sense that she has some control here and that she's part of this, and here we go. We're working together. All right, we're gonna use the darknet site, and we're gonna give her a shot to be part of this.
Darknet domain. That's our best bet. Let's stick to the plan.
Fine. Here's hoping you turn up something useful. I'll wait in the van.
All right, so that was a lot. So I want to use this real quick as an opportunity to sort of debrief what just happened here. If you're in a position like what we're in with V, where you need to get information from somebody and it's a means to an end, there is context that's worth keeping into account, and there's context that's not worth keeping into account. If we take the perspective on that conversation where Judy is with us and then Finger is with us, and we go into that conversation and we think to ourselves, Judy, friend, good. Finger uses people, installs faulty implants, therefore piece of shit. That biases us in a direction in that conversation where that conversation is no longer useful to us. Because if I treat him like a piece of shit, why on earth would he work with me? Why would he help me? Whether legitimate or not, the guy has his reasons for being the way that he is. And what he does with other people in that moment is inconsequential to what I need him for. So I have to go in there with the intention of engaging with him in a way that makes him feel connected to me, that makes it seem like I'm going to be useful to work with. It's the same concept as when Takamura talked to us in the diner and he came on to us really strong. Why the hell do I want to work with Takamura if he's going to come at me that way? That's essentially how we would go after Finger if we went in there thinking this guy's a piece of human garbage. That may be true, but that's context that's entirely irrelevant to that conversation. And it makes our engagement with him about something more than what's relevant to that moment. So in that moment, we have to take that stuff away and only focus on that moment and our objective for that moment. And this is why me and Judy game planning before going into that room would have been really important. We would have said something to her along these lines of like, look, I know this guy sucks. I know you hate this guy. I know that you are engaged in a different way with this. I need you to keep your cool. I need you to let me take the lead. I have less of an emotional investment in Evelyn, so it's going to appear at times like I'm on this guy's side. I need you to know up front that I am not on his side. I am just trying to get information because I really want to get Evelyn back. That's what we're here for. If we make it about anything else, it's going to detract from that. So follow my lead and trust that what I'm doing is in the spirit of getting Evelyn back. And if you need to take a breather and get away from it, that's totally fine. So we have to empathize with him there. It's hard to do that. It's hard when we go in with a boxed in idea of what a person is to get ourselves into empathy, because we often equate empathy with agreement. We think that if we empathize with him, if perhaps we empathize with his need for reinforcement and accolades and niceties and all these sorts of things, we think that if we empathize with his need for that, and perhaps with his sense of incompetence that he couldn't help Evelyn, that we're somehow agreeing with his methods, that we're enabling him to continue doing what he's doing. We're not. He's going to keep doing whatever he's doing regardless of us, because he just met us. Like, why on earth would he completely change what he's doing just because he met two random ass people that happen to know somebody he worked on? He isn't. So it has to be about the moment. We have to find the empathy. We can empathize without agreeing. It's not agreeing with his methods by doing that. It's really sophisticated stuff. It's really hard stuff. It's just partially some of the things that you're trained to do as a therapist, because we're trained to make sure that we don't make it about us, that instead it's about what's going on for a person. I can agree or disagree with some of the decisions that a person makes, but I can certainly empathize with the reasons why they make them. Because as I talk about all the time, if you ask the right questions and engage with people with curiosity before judgment, you will often find that what they do makes sense to them. And if you can get there, you can connect with people in a way that's very hard to do if you go in and you box yourself in right away by saying, this guy sucks. Maybe he does. Maybe he objectively sucks. But in that moment, we have to engage with him as a human, or we're not going to get anywhere. We're just not. We're just antagonistic assholes that barge into his office, talk shit, and then say, give me info that I need. But fuck you. It doesn't work. So if that felt gross to empathize with that guy, I understand it. But we have to be tactful with how we go into these interactions. You got to know what you're working with when you're talking with different people. You can't use blanket ways of engaging with folks. It just doesn't work. You got to know where your reactivity is. You got to know your emotional investment in a situation. This is why I talk all the time about knowing what your emotional experience is at all times. Because if you're a person that disengages from it or stuffs it or whatever, and you walk into a scenario like this, those emotions come out whether you want them to or not. It comes out with Judy getting up in that guy's face and smacking him across the head. That had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with everything else around it. He was just a proxy for it. He was a way for her to exert some physical control in that moment. And she could have screwed up the entire thing by doing that. So there's a lot of complexity within that exchange. And I really love it as a result of that. That's the kind of stuff that just gets me super excited. That's why I really love this game. I really love this game. I've been enjoying the absolute hell out of it. And I really hope that all of you have been too. So those of you that have been watching the VOD, I really appreciate that you have taken the time to watch this episode, that you've made it all the way through episode 7. I hope you're looking forward to episode 8 as much as I am. I really am grateful that you took the time to hang out. I hope that you'll leave a like, that you'll maybe even leave a comment. I ask that you please not spoil anything. If there are alternative ways to engage with him, I don't really want to hear about it. I like to just kind of keep the run as the run. I take things as they come. If there's better ways to do things, well, I did my best. But I do appreciate the comments. I read all of them, even if I don't respond to all of them. And if you want to support the stream, make sure you follow me on socials. All those links are down in the description. And join us in Discord. We got over 2,000 people in the Discord. A lot of really great stuff there, including mental health resources. I'm live at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, Tuesday through Sunday. I hope you'll stop by sometime and hang out with us and be in chat, because chat is a lot of fun to read and to talk to while we do this. So really, really appreciate you all. Thanks for taking the time. And I'll catch you on episode 8.